Welcome. Now, in this video, I have a BTC USD position that is currently running about 5.75R up on the position so far. And this is on Bitcoin cryptocurrency. I know we do a lot of Forex trading and Forex talk here, but the program and the strategies that I offer to you will teach you how to trade any market, not just the foreign exchange market, not just the crypto market. It doesn't matter. As long as there are candlesticks on the chart, essentially all the markets move the same. And what I teach is how to trade that. So check the description out. The knowledge is there. It's going to teach you how to be able to find positions in trades like this. Of course, using multi-time frame analysis and structure the right way. So let's break it down into how we got into this position and my thoughts on it going forward. So let's drop back when I actually got in. So we'll go out to the monthly time frame like we always do. And what can we identify from the monthly? Well, we've talked about it previously before. If the market is moving up, it's making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows on its way to the upside. Now, depending on how you classify your highs, if you need a break above all structure, above all wicks, then this may not be another high, but the highs were closed higher than the highs were closed on this one. So I'm counting this as a higher high. So now that we have a higher high and a higher low, we know if this trend is going to continue up, then we cannot break this low. Once we break this low, we'll then have broken structure to the downside and we'll start to create lower lows where we would expect lower highs to be created after that. So as long as we do not break below this area, a higher high is still possible on this market. Yes, it looks a little weird, but the rules and the strategy and the facts are all there. We have our highs up in here that were broken. We have our lows that are not broken. So essentially, we're just in an exhaustion phase and we're waiting for the next impulse phase to come in this market. And that is on the monthly, where we did come down and retest previous structure support, where it was once support right here. Now that it's broken out of this area and came back, it is acting as support once again, as long as we are above this area. So we are at a major support level where we would expect some sort of bounce as well. So that's on the monthly. Let's drop down to the weekly. And what can we identify from the weekly? Let's keep the charts clean and we can see that this is our support area right on down in here. So we have all this area through here that was really just acting as support, and the market has came in and actually retested this area. But how was the market moving on its way to this area? Well, if we look, we started here, we made our impulse move down, we had some sort of retracement right here, we made another move down, we had a retracement, another move down until we reached this zone. What are we making? We're making lower lows and lower highs. So lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, all the way until we got into this area of previous structure support, now acting as support once again. Once we were tested in this area, we did have some sort of a bounce, and we then came and retest this area once again. Once we retested this area the second time, if we zoom in on it, we see that we did come and retest this area, and from there we got rejected quite aggressively by the small close of this candle. Now, it's not to say that we are just going to break structure just because of this one candle reaction and everything's going to start going straight up from here. But what we have seen is that normally when the market makes its moves to the downside, it ends up closing close to the area and then flushing through with a clean break. So same thing again, we came back for the retest right in here, and then once we did start to break the next impulse and break down lower, it was a flush, pushing prices all the way down, closing below the area. So with a lot of momentum is what we like to see if we're going to go ahead and break lower, continuing the trend. But once we came back in this area, we rejected from this area, not creating a lower low. And that's on the weekly. So we failed to break lower on the weekly. On the daily, we can see that this is the area that we were playing against. Well, not playing against, but that was holding the market. This is the area that was holding the market, the support area. And then once we did get that touch in there, we can see that with this candle, we did reject the area and close bullish back above these highs right in here of this previous structure area right in this zone. So we came down, retested, rejected out of this area, and the momentum was shot up to the upside. And that is on the daily. If we drop down to the 4 hour, what can we identify on the 4 hour? Basically, after we got this touch, we really want to just focus in on the multi-time frame aspect of this. So we know from our higher time frames that this area down in here is a pretty strong support area. And from this, we're not expecting an extreme reversal or an extreme bounce to go ahead and make this market bullish to where it's going to continue on to $1 million prices from here. But what we are expecting is some sort of reaction, and we're expect that since the market has been on an uptrend ever since the start of the coin, we can only expect that the market wants to continue to go higher. So we're not expecting an extreme reversal out of this market to go ahead and shoot up to 100K in Bitcoin prices. But what we are expecting is that since the market is continually showed us that it wants to go up and reach higher prices, that there should be some sort of bounce in this area. How long it's going to last, who knows? Where it's going to go, who knows? But some sort of bounce from this area is prominent, and that's on the 4 hour. Once we did come in here, we had these 3 candles. I don't know if you know about the 3 bullish candles, 3 bearish candles back to back to back, but be careful if you do not. On the 4 hour, we're just expecting some push, and then if we drop down to the hour, what can we see on the hour? That we're starting to get some structure change. Once we do, I'm going to go ahead and clear this, keep the charts clean. Once we do break out of this area, we can see that we are starting to make higher highs and higher lows. So we're making lower lows and lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we started to make a higher high, higher low, and now we're starting to create what would be the next higher high and expect a higher low to be formed after that. So we are getting in early on the hourly when it comes to structure change. So we've talked about it in previous videos. You want to kind of wait until all of your time frames are in alignment, or at least majority of them, to give you the best probabilities of the trade going in the intended direction. So we are waiting until we get the structure change. It's the same thing over and over, you all. If you want to buy, make sure on your entry time frame, some of your lower time frames, the structure is actually providing what you want. If you want to buy, you need to have the structure making higher highs and higher lows. If you want to sell, you need to have the structure making lower lows and lower highs. So if we take it from the 1 hour, we are starting to break structure to the upside. We do have previous structure resistance that, if broken to the upside, should now act as support right in this area. Of course, there are some other things that go with the strategies that are in the program that I cannot tell you because that's for the people in the program. But in layman's terms, just to make it real simple, previous structure resistance that if it is broken to the upside, we can now use it as support. Let's drop down to the 15 minutes because that is where we really got in detail on this market. So if we do go ahead and look at this on the 15 minute, what can we identify? I might have went too far on that. Is that once we got this break above, really small, really minor, but once we got the break above structure, break and close above, we're then looking for the retest. Previous structure resistance now turns support. Really simple. We have our stops below the low on our entry time frames, and then right now, as of right now, my take profit is open, which is not normal, not part of the strategy. But in this instance on Bitcoin, who knows? Like I said, who knows where it'll go? And if we do start to get something like being this, where we start to break up, come back, retest this left shoulder that would have been a left shoulder on a higher time frame, this will all be the head down in here. We'll have a break up, come back, retest the right shoulder, break up higher. Then, you know, from there, who knows what can happen. So do have our take profit on a higher time frame. Really, we're just letting it run. We're able to risk 1% on the account, 1R on this trade. And if we do go from the 15 minutes, what can we identify and see that once we got that break above, everything was set in order for us to go ahead and take this trade, or order for me, I should say. So let's play it out. We got the perfect break above, perfect retest, come back in this area. Now that we are triggered into this market, guess what? I don't think price ever comes back to the entry. Look at that on the hour time frame. Look at that just explosion to the upside on the hour time frame. Now this is, like I'm saying, the strategy that I use to get into this trade is offered in the program, and it's for any market. As long as there are candlesticks on the chart, then you can trade it. It doesn't matter. But as you can see, this explosion to the upside, and this is on the hour time frame. Pretty good entry in. And if we do zoom out even more, let's say to the daily, we can see that we are in a pretty good area as far as where to buy. So if we look at just where we are, you can see that every time the market came down in this area, we had a move to the upside. So we are in a pretty prime area, prime real estate when it comes to trading. Now let's just let it go ahead and play out. Of course, this is where price is currently. Break up, break up. Now we're really riding risk free, you know what I mean? Price never even really comes back. We start to have some stuff over the weekend, then we get to where we are now, man. But I just wanted to go over this quick BTC USD trade. Just wanted to really show you how I got into it, how I found it, everything that I used, almost everything that I used that isn't in the program, that is available and free for me to tell you, is what I use. Simple concepts, man. Simple concepts. It just needs to be repetitive. I've done this, I've traded this same way for so long that it's easy to me. I understand that it may not be easy to new people, but once you understand how to follow follow the market and actually understand what the market is doing, trades like this come about all the time. So we're talking about 5.76, 5.75 are up from this initial position on Bitcoin. We growing over here. I'm really excited. The channel is growing, starting to get some subscribers, a lot of subscribers, a lot of views, a lot of people are watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you drop a thumbs up if you really want to tell me something. Learning anything from these videos, I would really appreciate it if you let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, I hope you have a profitable day on and off the charts. And until next time, I holla.